G'day everyone and welcome to Hannah's version of David Attenborough. We are here in Mikkira Station. And this is the prime spot to find bloody koalas. And there's koalas everywhere. So in this video we thought we'd give you 5 tips on the best way to photograph koalas, but also just wildlife in general. They're pretty basic tips, but it might help you if you ever come out to visit this beautiful spot and see these beautiful koalas. She's a cold land, a cruel land, a land of massive birds, massive sharks and massive adventures. Welcome to South Australia. In this series, we'll be proving once and for all that this great state of Australia is not just a quick way to get from east to west. So grab yourself a frothy, do some power kicks and strap yourself in for some more kick-ass adventures.
Come on, let's see all they can. You're born.
And hashtag do the stuff you love. If this doesn't work, I'm coming after you all. So hit that subscribe button and let's get on with it. Good morning friends and welcome to our Friday. This is a roll and this is breakfast, and today we are heading out to a koala sanctuary. But it's not really a koala sanctuary, just a bunch of koalas that live on this person's property, and for $30 you can go to the Lincoln Information Centre, get a key and spend the day looking for koalas. And considering koalas are so rare these days and basically almost extinct, we thought this would be an amazing opportunity to go and get some brilliant photos and footage of such beautiful little animals. And we need a little bit of cheering up after such a crappy week. We had some pretty major shit go down on Tuesday evening / Wednesday morning, which I will fill you in on over lunch. But for now, I'm going to finish this delish cheese roll and we're going to head to the koala place. I forget what it's called. What was it called? Mikkira Station. So we'll give you all the details once we get there. Excuse our wildly dirty windscreen, but this is the road that heads out to Mikkira, whatever it's called, and out to the left here is Lincoln National Park, which we were planning on visiting today or yesterday, but because of the incident that happened on Wednesday, we cannot really go out there. Also, the weather's really shitty today, so we thought koalas might be a better option. Also, don't mind this like half and half hairdo. I'm halfway through doing my hair, but I've run out of hair ties, so hopefully I'll look better in a second. So when you come, you get this key for $30 from the visitor centre, and it's $30 whether you just come for the day or whether you stay the night, so it's $30 per night. So you get the key for 24 hours. You've just got to unlock the fence just here to get in.
Let's go get ourselves some drop bears.
So just to keep this vlog really real for you guys, our car has broken down and Kira and I are having a Barney. So Port Lincoln, you're fabulous. What was it, Grumpy Bum?
I'm not the grumpy bum. You're the grumpy bum. Anyway, so it seems like our main battery is...
What's beeping?
So it seems like our main battery is dead, so might have to get that checked when we go back into town. So I'm not too sure whether maybe there isn't a kill switch for what we've been using overnight and it's been draining that battery out.
I'm so fucking over Port Lincoln. So hi guys, we had a massive Barney where like the car broke down, I threw a camera, I stormed off, I cried in a paddock, but there's a koala right behind me. So, you know, Adelaide's a strange place. It causes us to fight non-stop, but then it throws a koala at us. So, you know.
What an amazing call.
What I sound like in the morning.
No, no, what you sound like. Hello, chunky monkey. Was that good scritches? Great scritches. I've never seen koalas so chill.
Usually koalas are actually quite dangerous. Usually if you find them on the side of the roads and things, you're not supposed to go near them because they're likely to like claw your eyeballs out with their massive talons. But these ones like
how close are we here?
Like, don't touch them, but you could.
Or else you get chlamydia.
These ones don't have chlamydia. That's an inside joke if you're from Melbourne, because the koala colony on Phillip Island has chlamydia. It's an issue.
So tell us more about this Mikkira Station. It's koala colony in a public place or a private place?
So Mikkira Station is a cattle station, and it's just got this koala colony living in the, I'm gonna get this wrong, the Mukka gums, M-U-K-K-A. Just check that for me when you edit this, would you?
Yep.
And yeah, as you all know, if you're from Australia, koalas are quite rare now. We've lost a ton of them in the recent bushfires, and the bushfires did actually go through this area as well, but it's recovered quite well, and they managed to protect the koala colony. So this is one of the biggest koala colonies in South Australia, if not all of Australia, and they just seem to be everywhere, and they're so big and so healthy. It's quite incredible. So this Mikkira Station is located about 25 kilometers, I want to say, from Port Lincoln. And it's really not that well known. I didn't know about it before I was reading a little pamphlet in a visitor centre the other day. And basically 30 bucks, you saw before, get the key, come out here and go for a wander, and there's koalas everywhere. So in this video, we thought we'd give you 5 tips on the best way to photograph koalas, but also just wildlife in general. They're pretty basic tips, but it might help you if you ever come out to visit this beautiful spot and see these beautiful koalas.
Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love. Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love.
Cute! Oh my god.
Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love. Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love. No matter what people want you to believe, don't ever turn back on your dreams.
This is what Hannah does for you, so get the perfect photo.
I don't know if it's for you. I think it's definitely for my own benefit. You guys should get it for free. Like directly underneath the koala.
I hope it poops.
Oh, worth it though. That face.
Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love. Speak up, stand tall, our voice has spoken. Oh, yo, yo. Rise up, love all, heart wide open. Oh, yo, yo. Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love. Gotta love, gotta love.
Just found the cutest, I think, little girl in the tree over there. And I'll get Kieran to pop some photos in here. She's just got the most beautiful little face. And she's just like...
She looks like she's going to break someone's heart.
Adorable. So as promised in the title of this video, we're going to give you a couple of tips on how to photograph wildlife, and we've hit the absolute jackpot with this place because this is the ultimate place to come and practice your wildlife photography. Now, I'm no expert, but I was trained in South Africa in wildlife conservation photography, and all of these skills are transferable obviously with any animal you find. So up here we have our beautiful little girl that I was telling you about before, and she's in the crook of a tree. I'll get Kieran to show you in a second. And to photograph this koala, obviously you want to try and get some foreground in it. So we're lucky where she's sitting right now that she has some leaves in front of her and a branch in front of her and then a background behind her. So what you want to do is get the foreground out of focus using your aperture on your camera. Get her, oh she's looking at me, get her in focus and then the background also out of focus, and that way it gives your photo some depth. Here your foreground is in focus, here the little cutie patooties in focus, and then here the background's in focus. So ideally in this shot you'll have her in focus and you've got the blur in the foreground and the blur in the background, and that gives your photo a whole lot more depth. So I won't teach you about your manual settings. If you guys want me to create some kind of tutorial video about manual settings on your DSLR, I'm more than happy to, but there are 1,000,001 videos on YouTube or Skillshare, all of those great websites where you can learn about manual settings on your camera. And for wildlife photography, oh my god, she's gone again. For wildlife photography, it's really important to be able to do that because you want to be able to create depth to your photo, interest to your photo. If you're just taking photos of animals that you could get, you know, on any old postcard, that's not very interesting. So this was a good example of how to get that depth in your photo. And if you want more tips on that, look up aperture and how to make aperture work for you in your wildlife photography. Okay, tip number 2 that I've just thought of with photographing wildlife is, this is a rule that's probably meant to be broken, but if you are just starting out, it's quite a good rule to follow. And that is, when you take a photo of something, make sure you get the whole subject in the photo to begin with. As I said before, all rules are meant to be broken, but for this guy up here, he's just behind me, he's kind of curled up in the branch a little bit, and it's really tempting to zoom right in on his face and just photograph the face. There is nothing worse than when you've got a photo and like the back of your subject's cut off or an arm is cut off and it just kind of disjoints the photo a little bit. So my tip is if they're nice and still like this, get a bunch of shots, zoomed in, zoomed back a little bit more. Then in post-production, you can crop and move and all that kind of stuff to get the frame you're searching for. So you'll hear me go click, 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 and it looks like I'm taking the same photo, but what I'm doing is going zoomed right in, click, zoom back a bit, click, zoom back again and click. And that way I've got some options when I go to the post-editing stage, which is incredibly important. Always edit your photos, please. Don't be that smart ass out there who's like, oh, I don't edit my photos. Edit your photos, all right? You can just make them that much more schmick.
That's a whole point why people take in RAW, don't they?
Yes, exactly. So I've just swapped my lens over. This is a 60mm macro prime lens, and what that means is it doesn't zoom. So I'm a little bit more restricted now, so I have to move my actual physical body to get this photo. We're lucky in the Koala Park, I'm gonna call this the Koala Park, Koala Park today, that these guys are not moving around. They're quite chill with us coming up very close to them, so I'm able to get close up, far away, move around. And that brings us into tip 3. Come over here. How cute is this little baby in the back? So for tip three is frame within a frame. And frame within a frame is a classic way of getting the subject in your photo the focal point. Like, you need something that draws the eye into the animal, in this case wildlife photography. So frame within a frame means very similar to tip 1 with a blurred foreground, blurred background and your subject in focus. In this one, you want to find things within nature that create a frame around your animal. So in this case, the koala is perfectly aligned within the eucalyptus leaves that he's eating. So he's chewing on eucalyptus leaves, and then there's this beautiful ring around his face of more leaves. So that ring is going to draw your eye in to him or her eating the leaves. Okay, so you can see our little baby just here. How adorable is that, just chewing on the leaves? On my big camera, my DSLR, which is I use to photograph these beautiful little babies, I'll be able to zoom in on his little face and use these leaves around his face here to really bring in the attention, which right there is pretty cool. So I'll just swap over to the other camera and see if I can get a shot of him.
So what was tip 4 so you can get their attention?
Tip 3.5, if the koala's not looking at you, go "Roar,"
Their mating call.
and they look at you. Look at him.
He's checking out what
the heck was that noise? All right, after looking at all these photos, you cannot tell me that koalas are not the sloths of Australia. Am I right?
Oh, I think you're quite
Look at
right.
the way he's holding onto the tree.
And as it is, we walked past this one about an hour ago and he has not moved.
No, they don't move very fast. We saw one on the ground before though, which is very rare.
We did. There we go, that worked. Put your hands up in the air if you think Fly the Fox is the best.
Hands up in the air if you should subscribe to this channel.
Yeah.
So tip number 4, we're actually photographing the same koala and we've just struck a pot of gold here. Tip number 4 with wildlife photography is try and catch some personality in them. So this little guy is so freaking cute. He's staring at me, it's very intimidating. But in a photo, you would like to see some kind of interesting body shape to add interest to the photo, but also the main focus needs to be their eyes, because the eyes is what you connect through a photo, so the eyes add the expression. And luckily this little guy has just been facing us, munching on some leaves, and he's kind of like that, staring at us. So this is going to be a very cute photo because it's a very interesting shape that you don't usually see a koala in, and his eyes are connecting straight with my camera. So when you're focusing, whether you're using auto or manual, get the little red dot in the middle of your focus. I'll try and put this on the video so you know what I'm talking about. Try and get that little focus square on the eye, and then you can readjust the photo and frame it however you want. And that'll help draw the audience into your photo. Oh my God.
Him actually falling here. So stay tuned. This guy's so heavy for that branch.
It's cracking a bit. Oh, look at it.
It's already cracked. And tip number 5, and the final one that's very important, make sure you bring spare batteries and SD cards, because I just ran out and we had to walk back a K, so don't be stupid like me.
And one bonus tip for you all today is wildlife photography is all about patience. And the amount of times I've been out on a game truck in South Africa or just wandering around looking for animals, if you are not patient, you will never get the shot. So if you're lucky and you're here and you're watching the koalas, it's quite easy because they're everywhere. But if you are looking for wildlife in any part of Australia, like even in your backyard or anywhere around the world, I guess, if you just sit in a paddock and wait for the wildlife to come, eventually you'll get a photo of something. It might be a bug, it might be a kangaroo, it might be a koala. So really slow down and take the time to just appreciate the nature. And weirdly, the nature starts to come to you and you start to notice more things. So I really hope you love this video. If you love koalas, give us a massive thumbs up because how friggin' cute are they? Always leave a comment for us. Let us know what your favorite part of this video was or any tips that you didn't know about before. Leaving us comments really helps with the algorithm, and that's important to help us get our videos out to more people and make the hours we spend editing these things worth it. And thanks so much for watching, guys. We are still in Port Lincoln. I don't know what was before this or what's going to be after this because it's been a bit of a crazy week actually. But I hope you stick around for next Wednesday because we'll have more adventures coming to you from beautiful South Australia. Good night, baby. Do you want to explain to us what's going on?
Yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle at the moment.
Some little thieves broke into our car and stole about $1,000 worth of equipment. Oh God, don't do that.
It's struggling. I said this will be a bit where it will die.
Yeah, it is nice. Why is the lighting so bad in here? Why do I look grey? What's happening? Subscribe.